Welcome to Blackfeather Guild. Before we go in and say hi to the cast and get started with the show, I wanted to talk very briefly about viewer actions and a little bit about sponsors. So first off, there's a number of ways that you can actually actively participate in the show through viewer actions. One of the easiest ways to do so is through retweeting the game tweet. You should see that somewhere in chat if it's not in there already. But you just click on that link and hit retweet, and for every 5 retweets that we get on that, it will add a bonus to the cast pool and the game master pool. Now, in most cases, that's going to be an extra d6 that they can add on to any roll. Basically, a great way to use that is if a player is almost meeting a DC, but they're just not quite there, they can grab one of those d6s from the cast pool, roll that, and then add that to their roll. Basically, is how that works. Same with the GM. So that's one of the easiest ways that you can participate that way. Another way is through guild coins. That's our Twitch channel points. If you look at the rainbow colored icon, it should have the Blackfeather Guild crest on it. It should be right below your Twitch chat box. If you click on that, it'll show you all the different things that you can get with those. The biggest one being plot points. Now plot points, you can see an example right over here. They all work pretty much the same way. It's just a matter of how big of an impact they have. So for the example, when we've got 2 plot points, the player of your choice gets something moderately helpful or unhelpful. Enter any suggestions for the GM into chat, or you can have the GM come up with something entirely on their own. So just choose if you want it to be helpful or unhelpful to the party, and that's kind of how you can use them. You can throw in your own suggestions as well. How those work: 1 plot point is something trivially helpful or unhelpful. 2 is moderately, 3 is very, and 4 is very to the entire party. So if you want to do something to help the entire party or really throw a monkey wrench in their plans, 4 plot points will do that. So that's guild coins. And then finally, we've got donations. So if you want to help out with keeping the lights on in the place, so to speak, there's a number of ways that you can financially contribute. One of those being coffee.com/Raven or Raven.rocks. You can see both of those examples down there at the bottom. Those are the addresses to do direct donations. You can also do Twitch subscriptions or bits. Those work the same way. And then finally, Patreon. We've got a Patreon, which you should see in chat here any second if it's not there already. And our Bard tier patrons and higher get credits towards viewer actions every month that they can use on any show that they would like. You just have to let us know in chat how you want to spend those, and then we'll hand those out. So some very cool stuff. Before we hop over to see the cast, one last thing to mention is A couple things on this chart here. We've already covered the D6 and the plot points, but the triple crits, what that means is you can gift auto critical successes. And you can, it's triple because you get 3. You can divvy those out however you'd like. You can do 2 to the cast, 1 to the game master, all of them to the game master, however you want to do it. So they work much like the D6s. The cast members just grab that when they're available and they really need them and use them. So it's pretty cool. And then finally, the last one, introduce an ally or enemy NPC. Just give us a brief description of what you want this character to look like, kind of their character concept and a name, and let us know if you want it to be an enemy or an ally to the party, and the GM will basically take that and run with it. So really cool ways that you can participate. Lastly, I just want to take a quick moment to mention our sponsors. If you look at the logos down below, that's who's sponsoring this episode, and we'll talk a little bit about that before we introduce everybody as well on the next scene. So yeah, check all this stuff out and thank them for supporting us, and thank you for being here and watching. Let's go say hi to the cast. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're doing our session 0 of Neon Devils, which I am super excited for. So we're going to go around and introduce everybody, say a little bit about ourselves, and then maybe a couple sentences about our character concept, and then we'll pass everything off to Yasmin to start our character building steps and world building stuff and all that good jazz. Yeah, let's start with, I guess me, since I'm in the top left, as we usually start in the top left. So I'm Raven. I do everything tabletop from game design to professional GMing and obviously streaming. And I'm playing Cat Continuum, which is I always have to think about how to pronounce that.
Continuum.
Not quite Continuum. It's Latin. That's what I want to say every time I see it, though.
Me too. That's an awesome name. Yeah, I'm interrupting.
You're good. Yeah, she's basically a John Constantine type, so she's into magic. She's a little bit rough around the edges, rude, to put it bluntly, and also British. But she's been living in LA for quite a while, so you may hear a little bit of a British accent here and there, but she's mostly got an American accent now. And yeah, she's very into the occult and magic and all that, and I'm using the Chosen playbook for Cat. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'll pass it on down to Paladin Hulk here.
That's me. Hi, everybody. I'm Paladin Hulk, Twitch moderator for Random Tuesday, Little Red Dot, and the Starwood Initiative. And today I am playing Daniel Vanderveer, who is a detective with the LAPD, has been for a good while now. He's about 40. He has some like angelic blood from a good while back. And I'm using the Flake book to represent that he's had some psychological issues recently that has caused a bit of a shakeup in his routine. So that's me.
Very cool. And pass it on up to Parland.
Hi, I'm Par. For this game, I will be playing James Cook, who is probably just a regular old officer sort of thing. I'm using the Crooked playbook, so he didn't come from anywhere too nice, maybe a little sketchy, but all around try to be a good officer. I am an aspiring writer, and I think that's all from me.
All right. We'll pass it on over to Nate. Yeah, tell us a little about yourself and your character concept.
All right. My name's Nate. I don't really stream often or play anything like this game mode before, but I'm familiar with D&D and I've played Uncharted Worlds before. This is my first foray into Monster of the Week, and I thought it would be fun to play a monstrous character. So I'm using the monstrous playbook, and I'll be doing a werewolf kind of detective, kind of muscle guy. He's his name is Marco Verota. If you guys haven't seen it yet, but I intend to play him as kind of fast and loose, kind of interesting character that makes friends easy, but easy come, easy go. So I'm interested to see how that'll play into our group dynamic, and yeah, I want to see where it goes.
Awesome. We're glad to have you. And then passing on up to Econorlax, a little bit about yourself and a little about your character concept.
Hi, I'm Ekinorlax. Well, I think this week finally I will get to streaming. So my intro will change a bit. Not only playing games, but also streaming them. And but today I will be playing Surgeon Tabitha Urquhart. She's an orc. And well, to imagine her, imagine simply an orc in a blue uniform because she's a mundane cop, because that's a playbook I chose, the mundane. She got her position on the department due to her hard work and luck, because that's what Monday playbook is about. A lot of luck.
Awesome. And then, one quick thing before I forget. I meant to mention this earlier. So the tweet works a little bit differently this season. Hey, thanks for that follow there, Eros Arcana. Thank you very much. So with the tweet of the game last season, it was just like every number of retweets. So this season we're doing retweets and comments. At 5, a d6 goes to the cast. At 10, a d6 goes to the DM. At 20, the cast gets something good, so 4 plot points that are helpful. And at 30, the DM gets 4 plot points for something that is unhelpful to the party. So I'll be keeping an eye on that and updating our counters there at the bottom.
Thank you!
As that goes along. But yeah, definitely interact with the tweet because it does really cool stuff for the show. It's there in chat. And thank you so much, Paladin Hulk, for gifting that tier 1 sub to Eros Arcana. Thank you so much. And,
You're welcome.
thank you. And Eros Arcana, yeah, that gives you $5 to use on this little chart right over here. For plot points, there's a full explanation of how plot points work down in the panels below. Feel free to take a look at that and just let us know in chat how you want to use it. And yeah, passing it off to Yasmin now.
I am Yasmin Tatiana. I am usually a graphic illustrator and artist with a penchant for storytelling. And this is my first game, my first full game that I'm running here on Raven's channel. I'm also fairly new. I've only played in the Monster of the Week handbook, so this will be my first time DMing it. And I guess I'll leave my little website in the chat there. If you're interested, I do specifically fantasy and D&D art and graphic apparel art. So there's some fun stuff, and there's a sale going on. Cool. So I guess I get to introduce now, right? Is that right? Do I get to do that now?
Yes, you do.
Yay! Let me just pull up my world notes here. So it is the year 2086, and this game takes place in Deus, Los Angeles, which is the city built over old Los Angeles after a 5-year civil war tore the city apart. It's been about 100 years since the Civil War, or was it 60 years? Something like that. between 60 and 100 years since the Civil War happened. And instead of rebuilding Los Angeles as it was, the government turned around and wanted to build a new Los Angeles, a new shining star of the United States. And this is set in a alternate timeline where in 1986, the fantastical kind stepped out of the shadows and began making agreements and treaties and coexisting with humanity. Magic was exposed to the rest of the world in a way that it's always been there, but now you just notice it. And there's been a lot of change that came with that. And our cast and crew here is some of the recruits for the Spook Squad in the DLAPD. The DLAPD is the police force that helps manage crime. They do a little bit with Old Los Angeles. They do provide over Old Los Angeles, but Old Los Angeles has kind of become an underworld of crime, anarchy, which there's nothing wrong with anarchy, but nobody's there to babysit any of these hoodlums. Yeah, so that's the setting that we're getting started in. Do you guys have any questions that you may have garnered about that?
Yes.
Yeah, lay it on me.
The full name of the new LAPD is long, and if I have to shout it at a criminal as he's running away, it's going to take a while. Can I just say LAPD? And is that just how people refer to it? Yes, excellent.
Yep, you can definitely do that. I don't think that there would be any confusion because Old Los Angeles doesn't really have a police force.
Perfect. We're just the LAPD.
Yeah.
No need to worry about all the fancy letters.
Yeah, so you don't have to trip on your acronym while shouting after criminals. Do you guys have any other questions about the setting? Otherwise, it'll just kind of unfold as we play. So I wanted to talk to you guys more in depth about your characters and how everybody knows each other. So I don't know if you want to start with Daniel again.
Sure.
If you wouldn't mind dishing it out for us to give us a little bit more details. You don't have to give everything, just what your players may know about you, how long you've been in the Spooks, how long you've been in the LAPD force.
Well, I'm about 40, so this is the only career that I've ever had, like being LAPD. So I've been here quite a while. I'm a detective, but I didn't like have my career in the Spook Squad. I'm specialized in illegal firearms because that felt like the most good guy thing a cop could be doing in the world, because there's a lot of bad stuff. So I picked a good thing. Illegal firearms. Okay. As at the end of he had a wife that he neglected. Good job. Job's good. And recently he's been under fire, literally. That took him out for a while. He's been in the hospital. His partner's also been in the hospital. And he's been on leave for mental health reasons, because that was very traumatic for him.
You know how long he was on leave?
He's been on leave for longer than they expected, I think. Months. And then someone had the idea to tap him for the Spook Squad, and he's reluctantly joined.
Excellent. So let's go to Econorlax.
My character is also, well, quite old for
94
for police officers, 45. And she's in the department for 10 years. But she managed to hold to her sanity so long for two simple reasons. First, she came from the rank and file. She just she came through the normal route of the beat cap, academy, beat cap, paperwork, sergeant's desk, and she's held to her desk in the department because she deals mostly with paperwork, not the cases themselves. And also, whatever case she has been assigned, she always was a bit lucky. It wasn't. It's never something really traumatic. It's always some weird coincidences like fake magic, not a real one. So she has simply seen a lot of her people in the department come and gone, being sort of this. I wouldn't say motherly figure because she's rather not really pleasant person to work with. She's always stickled to the paperwork. You have to file all the stuff properly and on time. But she can be seen as sort of the anchor for the party in the department.
Caretaker. Cool.
Sort of.
So, Nate, can you go in and give us a little bit more details about your character that the other characters would likely know?
No problem. You'd probably hear it through the grapevine that he's a werewolf, but like you wouldn't know it to look at him. Like he looks mostly human when he's in the human form, but he's definitely got like a kind of a bestial aura. I don't know. He just kind of makes you feel a little like, wait, are his teeth a little bit sharper? Did his eyes just flash kind of weird when the light changed a little bit? That's weird, but
Did he forget to cook his entire steak?
Yeah,
What happened?
what? Just tearing into it. But essentially the idea I had was that back in the past, before common times, his pack would have been like hunted by monster hunters from ye olde England kind of thing, but they were offered a deal to kind of like help those monster hunters hunt the more nasties, the more creepier paranormal things. As you have a strong werewolf kind of monster on your side, it would help a lot. And so his pack swore like an honor oath, like an oath pact to this duke or something, and they've been monster hunting werewolves for years and years and years. But we get to this new age where my character Marco decides to go over to the US, and because it's now open and people know there are magical beings and whatnot, he doesn't have to hide nearly as hard or work nearly as under the table as he used to. But with that, him working with Spook, he's getting kind of like disapproval from his father, like the pack alpha back over across the pond. And so I'm kind of hoping there's a bit of something to play off of in that. But essentially he's a bruiser. Like he's there to try and protect people who can't protect themselves, using his unnatural strength and preternatural kind of like speed and what have you. You'd notice that he's kind of like well put together. He likes to kind of carry himself and present a neat, trimmed, kind of tailored suits, all sorts of thing. But generally, when he goes off on a case, he's lugging around this massive axe that, like, if you didn't know who he was or what he was about, you're like, wait, that average size guy's trying to like run around with this weird, huge, unwieldy axe kind of thing? I don't think that'll work.
Is he a timber wolf?
I don't have that specifically yet, but we'll see.
Love it. Love
But
it.
yeah, that's all I got so far.
Cool. Parland, can you dish us some more details about your character?
All right, so James Cook, my character for this game, is about, I want to say about 26. 26, so probably only a few years hanging around on the force. The characters would know that he's got a bit of a controversy around him. As per the background of the Crooked, I really didn't know what I was getting into when I chose this playbook. As as is part of the background, I have some heat on me. So one of the detectives on the force, his name is Graf Deverne. He's an orc detective. Seems to have a particular beef with me and goes around swearing that he's going to put me away in jail. In prison. So that's fun. It also seems that I've pissed off a rather well-connected criminal at some point. So you'd probably also hear rumors that, oh god, Uther Abelin, I made him a vampire,
Ooh.
Nice.
is a well-known criminal. Seems to have some sort of grudge with me. So it's just a bit of controversy for this couple year, maybe just past rookie cop.
I like it.
Do
I'm gonna have fun with that.
do we know what this other cop is accusing you of? Like, are you corrupt? Did you kill someone? Or
He swears up and down that you know, he's seen me do some shady things. He believes that maybe I'm, faking my identity or something like that. But he's
Oh.
gunning for me. He wants me away.
Okay. Mm, so
Good
many
stuff.
thoughts on that. All right, and then finally, Raven.
Yeah. So Kat, I think, probably was on some sort of police force in the UK, and maybe like sort of like a international exchange program. Ended up in LA, and through one means or another, ended up really attached to the city. Not so much in the fact that she likes living there, but as in she's attached to the city and isn't really able to leave for very long. Um, so I think with it being the chosen, one of the things that I chose for the Doom keywords was damnation. Um,
Oof.
and so obviously this character is based on John Constantine, and so I thought it would be really fun to stick with that theme and say that maybe um, somebody in LA has claim to her soul or something like that. I'll let you play with that and do whatever you'd like. But kind of that idea of like she can do whatever she wants for the most part, um, but she kind of always ends up being drawn back to LA, and she's trying to figure out, in the midst of all this stuff, how to get her soul back, essentially.
Cool. All right. I'm
She
just
still
taking
has it,
notes.
but-
Don't mind me.
No worries,
This
that's
won't
not
be
concerning.
used later. What?
That's
no.
not concerning at all. But as for what
yeah.
everybody else would know, yeah, transferred to LA as a detective, very much a maverick. Definitely, probably does not get along with Eknorlax's character because she hates paperwork and tends to not do it correctly or at all in some cases.
And I have also written down I hate Mavericks, so square
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah, she's a bit of a loner, but can play with a team when she has to. That's just not her first choice. Um, so everybody else would probably find her either rude and gruff, or some of them might find her oddly charming. Um, but for the most part, everybody's going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's Kat. She does her own thing, and she's kind of rude, and she hates people."
That is awesome. Okay, so our next is finding connections. So with the information that all the other players have given you, like we already have between Tabitha and Kat, there's that uncomfortable, they don't really see eye to eye on that paperwork thing. But I'd like to know from Paladin, um, words are hard sometimes. I stutter. You've spent so much time in the forest that you likely know at least of James Cook. You definitely would have had run-ins with Tabitha. The other two, maybe you don't know as clearly, but the longer they've been on the in the department, the more likely it is that you would know them.
Yes. So Tabitha would know me as an extremely dependable detective, but that's like past me. So from your point of view, I've gone through a change and, I'm having a tough time of it. And I don't know if you give a shit, but that's up to you.
Cool.
And similarly, I would know all the rumors and be a bit wary of Mr. Cook. Especially since that name is super made up.
Ah, the conspiracies have already begun.
Yeah.
So innocent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Best friends with James Smith, John Doe.
Mm-hmm. You don't know them. They live in Canada.
All right.
But I think I haven't done anything active with that because I've been focused on the work, and whatever's going on with him is his own thing. But I know, and maybe that's given a tense encounter or so where maybe you've asked for my help or vice versa, and we've been like.
Never read that guy.
Cool. So then, James Cook, how do you feel about the rest of your squad here?
How do I feel?
How would you know them? Your interactions with them?
Oh, boy. I think he's probably fine with. I'm sorry, I gotta pull up the character names. He's probably fine with Kat. Probably sort of a, you hate people. I also hate people. We're fine. This sort of thing. We just gotta exist in kind of mutual respect for the people hated.
I feel like the two of them could exist silently in the same room and be perfectly happy with each other's company, just not saying anything.
Exactly, that sort of thing. Thing is, surprisingly, I don't think James is that wary of Daniel per se. More of a just like this guy's a little too straight lace. Gotta loosen the collar a little, buddy.
That's exactly what the character has done. So.
Marco.
Hello.
Damn it, I didn't think about that.
I'm the worst. I'm so sorry, you
No,
guys.
it's all good. It's going to be fun.
I think James is a little interested in Marco because he's probably not. He's still kind of the supernatural thing kind of still makes his head spin a little bit as far as things go. Like, I forgot to mention, there's another trait. There's another trait here for the crooked that I should have mentioned, which is I'm supposed to have encountered someone who exposed me to the real underworld. So
Okay.
I didn't have anything for this, so I chose that I ended up working with someone who was once more than they seemed. So a sorcerer.
That doesn't sound like anybody in the party at all.
All right, well, let's switch it. A psychic.
Okay.
One of those creepy encounters on the street where he was just walking past and a old woman grabbed his arm and said, "You better change, young fellow."
I already have an idea.
That old lady was Cat Continuum.
I was gonna say I'm totally fine being that person, but I like the psychic idea too.
So, the witch that always glamours herself to look like the old woman and waits on like roadways in Greece for unsavory men to come along and deny her food so she can punish them.
Yep.
That'd be
I don't know. It's just worked with someone who's more than they seem. So I don't know. Maybe I just helped her cross the street. I don't know.
okay.
There's so much into this.
I'm gonna think about that information for just a little bit, and we'll come back to that.
Okay. I still have Tabitha. I don't know if James truly likes too many people.
Okay, if you have a limited allotment of people to like, don't waste a slot on Tabitha.
I don't know if he he gets along with people. I just don't know if he likes them too deeply. I feel like he's just yeah, you're cool. You're cool with Tabitha. More aloof. I do have a question though. Are we going to be using the history?
Like the world notes that I left, or
No,
There's
we
a
use the
history
prompts,
section
the
in
character
the-
sheets.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that.
I did too.
My bad.
All good. This is working perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
You can use them. I keep everybody's sheets up so that I everything, so I should be able to go back and double check everything. But I have dossiers on you guys that I'm putting together.
Crap.
When you say it like
She's
that,
gone through all my tweets for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's
one
not
bad
that
take.
stalkerish. I haven't done that since I was in high school. No, it'll be a file that I'll share with you guys after session 0 that will include information that only you will know, or only you think you know, kind of thing. So you can decide how you want to share that, how you want to express it. A lot of it has to do with the backstories that you've given me or talked to me about. And that will just play in because there'll like be little nuances. So from your backstory, you'll see like little things peppered into the story. Because I am a chef.
I like it.
So I think we're up to Kat. Kat, how do you know and or feel about your rest of your teammates?
I think they're all awful. No, I'm kidding.
You jerk.
Yeah, I think she likes James okay. She doesn't really care about rumors or past mistakes. She's just like, as long as you're not, doing anything shady right now, that's all I really care about. Tabitha, I think she just genuinely does not get along with. not in a malicious kind of way, but just like we just have very different personalities. Um, but I kind of imagine like this sort of like cop sitcom kind of situation where Kat always walks in and Tabitha's like, "Did you get that paperwork done?" And Kat's like, "Hey, I've almost started," and as she's already walking away.
Whilst eating Tabitha's yogurt.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's food is safe in the mini fridge in the office.
I like that. I might keep that as part of her character. um, for Marco, I have a feeling Kat probably, given her background, either knows or strongly suspects what's going on with Marco, and would just kind of always be like, "Yeah, I know," but not actually say anything about it. Um, and for Daniel, um, I'm not sure how she would get along with Daniel just yet. I don't think she'd be like not get along with Daniel, but I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
don't
click
do
or not.
super much now. Like he's just, very So I feel like you're interesting enough to get him out of his funk.
Okay.
Like not like all the way, but you know, just aware of his surroundings, which is good.
Okay. And I think Kat would be sympathetic to the whole sort of um, getting over the trauma of being shot at and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It probably wouldn't come across as super sympathetic, but she would have that sympathy. Um,
He does have like a
and
nice scar on his head. So
yeah, it would be like the I'm gonna throw some friendly barbs your way as a way of saying like I'm sorry you're going through that, but it's never going to be I'm sorry you're going through that.
mm-hmm.
um, and then I think I forgot to mention on the stream that she does have a little bit of a British accent. And this is my way of getting around the fact that I can't hold a British accent for very long. So she's been in America long enough that it's mostly an American accent, but you might hear some British phrases or a little bit of an accent here and there.
Cute. And then I think finally we've got Nate.
Cool. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How long has this team kind of been together? Are these like all of us coming together a new-ish thing, or is it
So-
like?
Not entirely. The spook department started as one person and was kind of added. And when each person met their retirement time to go back to the force or to not come back at all, which is about that 5-year mark, they were then replaced. And so everybody's time with the spook squad is a little bit different. Some of you are going to be really, really new. You have no idea what you're getting into. And some of you may have like a year or two, maybe even 3 years or so on the force where you're fairly familiar with the weird ass stuff that you come across. Does that answer your question?
Yes, for the
It's up
most
to
part.
you.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like he wouldn't have any crazy opinions about anyone just overtly. His main thing is that his family has been a bunch of monster hunters. So as long as we protect those who cannot protect themselves, he's all for it. He can work with anyone. He just doesn't like having to put himself in harm's way because someone's stupid. Like if they make a dumb decision and that makes him have to hurt himself trying to save them, he's kind of begrudgingly okay with that, but he doesn't like helping people who just hurt themselves. So I don't think he would have any problem with any of our members currently. He'd honestly probably be friends with Kat. I was kind of thinking about how they're both from across the pond. Maybe they met and worked together maybe once or twice before. So he's not like
Oh yeah.
not he's familiar with her, but not in a sense that like, oh hey buddy, let's go get drinks. But he's like, hey, you know what you're doing. I don't have to worry about you hurting yourself. I'm fine with working with you like that.
So how
Yeah.
long has your character been in the US? Is it possible that maybe Kat was your connection to the spook department?
Possibly, I would think so. Maybe that like they're if you're again if you're okay with this or not, maybe they accidentally teamed up overseas, and then she was like, "Hey, come work over here. We got some crazy stuff in America." So I'd say maybe a couple of years in America, but completely open to any suggestions.
Cool. All right. I will let you guys kind of work that out. How do you feel about the other characters? Like, I know you don't have any bad feelings about them, but do you have like, are you find closeness with somebody more than somebody else, or you're just like, maybe I won't ever get drinks with you after work?
He's not like against creating connections, but being a monster, being stronger than the regular old Joe, he he probably doesn't like making connections because those connections can be torn away. People can get super hurt. So I guess he would understand what Daniel's going through and how it's like affecting him as a person. Yeah, I don't know if he would be like super sympathetic or like trying to that's rough, buddy, and pat you on the shoulder and help you through it, but he understands. Um, knowing the other characters, both Tabitha and like James, I think he would be again accepting of them, saying like, you know, you guys have been around for a while. You're not likely to go and do stupid things. I will say though that he's kind of like I don't know how our past missions or outings, adventures have been in so far, but he'd probably be a little uncomfortable being the only like upfront bruiser in the group. Like he always rushes in to be the one to take the hits, take the damage. But if he's the only one doing that, that might make him a little uncomfortable. Maybe.
Oh, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
had one more question and comment that I wanted to keep you in mind because you're a werewolf and you do the office is topside. Your character isn't always well received by other people, and when people find out that you're a werewolf, they're immediately going to ask for your paperwork. Being a half humanoid, half non-humanoid, they're always going to be like, your permutation, I must see it.
For
Why
sure.
are you topside? We're uncomfortable. You scare us.
And that
Have
makes
you
sense. I
had
feel
your
like,
shots? You know, babies are scary.
do you have your ID chip? Where's your owner? No, but I get that, and I'm completely open to that idea. That could be funny and fun to play through. I feel like he would have like a laminated packet kind of thing where someone like as soon as he sees someone
Like
trying to approach him and
a
ask him, he's just
medical
like,
bracelet.
here's all my paperwork. There, leave me alone.
That's fair. All right, cool. Um,
Can I say
yeah,
something?
go for it.
Because most of characters were able to say what they think of Tabitha, but I didn't want to interrupt to sort of say what Tabitha thinks about them.
Bring
Except Raven, because she used the dreaded M word.
it.
So yeah, about Marco, you are kind of worried of being too strong for everybody, right?
More or less, yes.
So yeah, Tabitha is 6'2" and she weighs 200 pounds, and she's orc mean and green killing machine.
Cool.
So,
Okay, so she's gonna
so
be
yeah,
there
we
behind
can
him when
have
he
a
rushes
beer.
in.
We can have a beer together for sure.
Hell yeah. All right, I'm there for it.
She considers you a promising rookie in the department. About Daniel, well, she has seen people come and go, and she respects you for every. It's not easy to earn her respect, but it's very hard to lose it. So she's very sorry to see you being kind of going, you being on this like curse on the route to leave the department sooner or later, because she's seen a lot of people coming through the same stuff. She definitely
It might have been
sorry.
your idea for Daniel to join the spook department.
Maybe. So yeah, that would definitely make her sorry. And as for our crooked cup, well, everybody has some stuff on the side in the department. Everybody. And there's only one question: is your paperwork on the up and up stuff good?
You're a troublemaker, aren't you?
James does paperwork like you'd do a paper one night before the due date.
Familiar with that.
Because the secret to being a good crooked cup is being a good clean cup on the outside, so to speak.
He does it. It's just, it's definitely half-assed. It's like last moment I get it in.
So yeah, okay, semi-competent. That's the drawer you will be sitting in her mind.
Yeah.
And then we know how she feels about Cat.
Well, I know Mavericks like make the numbers for the department. Like the solved cases goes up, ratio goes up thanks to them, but she feels a bit like the cost is too high for that.
Cool.
Especially all that stolen yogurt.
It wasn't mine. I'm a dedicated meat eater.
Egg salad. It could be egg salad, Cat.
Yeah, or the next day, just like Cat comes walking in with a bag of beef jerky that clearly says like Tabitha written on the bag. Oh, this is great. I don't know where this came from, but it's delicious.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Tabitha just eyes her axe. That's more or less size of cat.
I love it. All right. So I've got a little bit more information for the DLAPD, and then I think we'll take a break. And when we come back, I don't, if you guys feel like you're ready for it, we could get a little bit into the beginning of the game and explore your surroundings a bit, get to know your office.
This looked like it was going to be a fight. Is that what you're planning?
Yeah, are we squaring up? Is that what's going on?
I dance with my fists.
Remind me not to dance with you.
At least I don't kiss with my fists. Just saying.
That's good.
All right. I added this document to our shared folder. I don't know how many people have gotten a chance to take a look or see it. It includes, I'm going to go over everything, so don't worry about it. But this is information that you would know having the LAPD. So the Spook Division's been around for 30 years. Oh, I got it wrong. It's not 5 years. I put it as 10 to 15 years. My bad. I feel like I should keep that as 5 years. 5 years was a good one. Sorry, I'm just adjusting things.
Adjusting the reality.
Yeah, adjusting reality as we know it. So the squad retires people around every 5 years and brings in new recruits to replace them. The squad has grown, but it is still just you guys. It used to be one person, and now it's the 5 of you, right? There's 5 of you. There are 4 well-known gangs that operate within the city. The biggest, meanest that leaves DLAPD alone for the most part is they're only known as the Huldra. And they are Fey only. They're considered a neutral entity by the police department and by the government, but you know that what they're doing is very illegal. And you also know that it has a lot to do with business and leadership and government and elections and whatever they have their hands in. There's a little bit of a wrongness about it. They also deal primarily in contracts, wish granting. I said politics already. Any cases that are brought up against the Holdra are often stopped immediately. No questions asked, paperwork lost, and you're told to shut up and sit down. You don't, like, the Holdra are like the one of the entities that you don't, well, the rest of DLAPD doesn't mess with. You guys get to choose whatever you want to do with that. The second gang is the Aswangs, or Aswang. They are human inclusive. I'm pretty sure for Daniel, the Aswangs was the gang that I recommended.
Yes, I have that written down.
Awesome. So they are the second largest gang. They're very dangerous. They're known for most of the violence in old Los Angeles. They have missing children's cases, human trafficking, illegal tournament fighting, arms dealing. If you've heard of it, they probably had a hand in it. Anything specifically to do with them is always designed like a trap. Nothing's crystal clear, and you have to be very, very succinct when speaking with them. The third gang is also human inclusive. They primarily are drug cartel. They might do a little bit of weapons distribution, but you don't have information on that. The only reason you really know about them is that they were responsible for a dirty batch of drugs that hurt and essentially just ruined a lot of people's lives. But there's not any more information on them. They usually have something to do with drugs, and you can kind of track them down, but they're really hard to find. The last one, there's no really big name for. You've heard a lot of different kinds of words and names and like slang used for this. They don't really appear to be racially exclusive, but you also couldn't tell for sure if they are. Relative information for this particular group is outcroppings of graffiti and observed mass followers with neon stitched mushrooms in their clothing. There's a lot of speculation that this might not even be a gang, but a movement or a activism group or something, but you can't pin them down. Their causes and motivations are all very unclear.
What was their name?
The last group's name, you don't know what it is, but the slang used for them, you've seen incorporated with the graffiti is usually the Khan, Khan, Keeper of Secrets, the Whisper, stuff like that. Like, it's all really poetic and ambiguous, and the only thing that you can really relate a word to it being is that if there's the mushrooms stitched in with the art. And you see a lot of it in old Los Angeles, especially for Cook. You would be able to be like, yeah, I know where that graffiti is all the time. I'm going to make a note in your little document here so I can go into detail about that.
Uh-oh, she's opening your dossier.
I gotta add these details, guys. So a little bit other information for you is, so non-humanoid races must have permits to operate in Deus Los Angeles. They're not easy to access, and any little teeny tiny thing could get that permit removed. Long-standing citizens are either very quiet and well-to-do, or they're very, very well off. So keep that in mind. DLAPD has jurisdiction over Los Angeles. There is a smaller segment of DLAPD that kind of operates in there, but they're notoriously corrupt and they don't really do anything. The city essentially runs itself underneath the surface. And then some names that you will want to know are your chief of police, Ask Argent, an orc male. Deputy of police is Uzamail Elam, a Celestine male. And your direct supervisor for the Spook Squad is Commander Thomas Vierda, a human male.
You mentioned that non-humans need paperwork,
Correct.
but also they can crossbreed. So when does that stop?
They're still working on equal rights.
Never?
Sorry, you said humanoids several times. So humans or humanoids?
Sorry, so humanoids, non-humanoids and humanoids. So non-humanoids being those that don't necessarily look human, as in like a wolf or a cat or
The
your
giant blob of
goblins.
ectoplasm.
Yeah, your slime boys and stuff like that. So humanoids, sorry, I said that wrong. Humans are not the majority anymore. Humanoids are, and they're kind of all lumped together. So Tabitha being an orc and Daniel being a Celestine, you both don't require permutation to be in the city. You're considered part of the populace. But Marco, who can change or shapeshift into something that is not human or maybe vaguely human, needs that permutation. Does that make sense?
So Marco in his human form doesn't pass?
He does pass, but if he were to shapeshift topside, or like anybody witnessed him shapeshifting, he would have to have his permutation with him, because
Right.
people would be like, "Oh, there's a giant wolf."
You only need your paperwork when you're in Hulk form.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Or
Any
when you're
other-
dealing with Tabitha?
yes. Any other questions about that information that I gave you? Cool.
I assume the use of magic in the city is fine.
Yes. Destructive magic, whole bourgeoisie, sign your contracts, do your things, push those papers. But small magic, like your coffee shops use magic. Like the barista is like, "Oh, you want a shot of good luck?" And she'll like paint good luck charms in your coffee foam. Like, so magic is very versatile and very active. Big magic, particularly destructive magic, must have permutation.
I'm gonna need a lot of permits.
You better get better at that paperwork.
Also, I think it might be kind of fun if what's keeping Kat in the city is something to do with the Holdra.
Ew, I'll write that down.
That would be the one, right? That's the one that has her soul. Because that's the worst one.
Yeah,
Of course,
they play hardball. I mean, the Aswang could, but they are not clever enough to steal souls from somebody like Kat.
Yeah, and I feel like Kat still like has her soul. It's just like as soon as she's dead, it's forfeit.
It's on loan.
Essentially, and I think it would be really fun if it's the Holdra that has it, because that makes it a lot more interesting in how she has to go about getting it back. She has to go around the system.
Yeah, I
Which
like
she
it.
Totally hates doing.
All right. Do we have any other setting or character questions or anything else that we want to add before our break?
None for me.
None for me.
Cool. Raven, do you want to sign us off for our break real quick?
Yeah, we're going to take a break. Going to be gone about 10 minutes, so feel free to stretch your legs, grab a drink, grab a snack, anything you need to do, and then we'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, guys.
And we're back.
Yay! So we're gonna get
It's like everybody's
into.
quiet.
I was like waiting if there's anything else. No, cool. I have permission to talk again. So we're gonna get, I guess, into the fluff, the beginning, the gentle opening of our story. You are all in or coming into the office today. Work has been unbearably slow the last couple of months. You know, most of you can feel it in your bones when you wake up, but you know that something is just waiting to blow. It's that calm before the storm, or the sensation that everything is going too smooth and you have to self-sabotage just to feel normal in your life. And that's where we open up.
That is a heck of an opening. Okay.
I got
It's
you.
quiet. Too quiet. There's that
I
cliche
think,
for you.
Yes. think Kat's gonna head into the office with mostly like a clipboard full of mostly blank paperwork, like the bits that only she could actually fill out are filled out, but the rest is just blank. Um, Sets it on Tabitha's desk and goes, "Here we go. They're mostly finished. But is everybody feeling okay? My dragon bones are." And she's got like literally like some dragon knuckle bones in her hand. They're feeling really weird. I think something's up in the city. Like more so than normal.
Tabitha looks more worried about the stuffs hanging in the air than the actually stuff missing in the paperwork, so she will agree with Kat. Yeah, she like takes a whiff or air with her white ostrich nose. Yeah, something's hanging in the air. It's too quiet. Maybe the rookie can sniff out more.
Oh yeah, not a bad idea.
So Marco, feeling like that hackles just kind of raising, like something's bound to happen. You'd probably go to the chief, all nonchalant, knock on the door, and be like, "Hey, got anything yet, chief? Need to stretch my legs."
Your chief of police or your direct supervisor?
Probably our direct supervisor.
All right. So the commander Vierda is in his office going through, and in the normal DLAPD office, the phones are running off the hook. The people are running back and forth, arms full of papers and binders. Mr. Vierda, Commander Vierda, looks up at you and kind of like tilts his head, like suddenly remembers what department you're a part of and says, "No, we haven't had any special cases come through. It just seems that we've had an influx of fair folk trying to come up to the surface without their permutation. So we've been a little bit stretched thin here, but nothing too big. Nothing crazy."
Understood. Let me know, please.
Yeah, I will contact your department as soon as we have something.
Marco would walk away and try and find some possibly busy work, but he would probably get real bored real quick.
Me too.
Cat look over at Marco when he comes back and, "Hey, what did the big man say?"
Nothing exciting. Starting to look like more of the same. Nothing.
But like good nothing or bad nothing?
Like everyday nothing. Nothing for us, which I guess is good.
I'm
That
not
just means
buying
somebody's
it.
really. It just means somebody's really good at hiding whatever they're up to.
Exactly. Wait. I've agreed with you second time in a day. It's already weird.
See?
Like bad sign.
I told you something's up.
Not like bad sign. Well, at least your paperwork is still same old, same old. Fix this!
Tabitha.
I'm throwing the folder.
I would just say,
Cat.
What's to fix? It's just, all the important bits are there.
here, Tabs, look at my paperwork. Just something new to set your eyes on. Help me make sure I'm in the right. Yeah, please.
Look, I may be hard on your paperwork, but we are not in the school. I won't be crossing your T's and fixing your commas and stuff like that. Just make sure the numbers are right. I'm Glaret Cat.
Daniel or James, what are you doing at this time? Are you already in the office or coming in?
Maybe we have been out on patrol and are just coming in.
Perfect.
Well,
Right?
So did you find anything while you were out on patrol?
Donuts.
Yeah,
Donuts are good.
I had to.
that's fine.
I had to.
And I think while we're driving, like I point out stuff from like my past or things that I can see because I'm a veteran and I know how things work, but I don't really care. It's just small talk, and I don't like expect to do anything about any of it.
Let's see. So I
Oh,
am
nice.
going to we'll have the first roll of the game. Let me see exactly what roll I need you to make, though. I should have bought the hard copy of this book.
Those are expensive.
They are.
Yeah, but they are worth it.
That's also true.
Did I skip it? Oh, no. Okay. Can I have you both roll investigate a mystery while you are, and this is just for the information, while you were out on patrol?
Sure. Sure. Oh my god, that picture.
Very much you.
Oh my god.
I found a bunch of money.
Let's see.
I
Oh
love
yeah, that's super
the,
creepy. I love it. That's actually
love the-
literally perfect for this game.
I love the newer character sheet that's in there. Roll20 for Monster of the Week now. It's so good.
And Daniel, are you rolling hard dice?
Oh no, you want me to roll as well? Okay.
Yes, please.
That's sharp. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did that.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So you both, with Monster of the Week, you both get to ask one question. Yeah. So you get to you can hold your question or ask this now. It's kind of a general thing. But I'm going to have you can ask your question more related in what you're looking for, but it's kind of like what happened here, what creature is it, what can it do, what can hurt it, where did it go, where's it going, what's being concealed here. Those are kind of really specific, so you can tailor your question for me about your general drive.
Well,
if you would like. Or I can just give you a little tidbit that you found.
I think that as Daniel and James are sitting in this car driving around, they're both kind of checked out. It's been really slow. Everybody's probably zoned out in their own way. So James is kind of just looking out the window. He knows he's pissed some people off, so I think he's just scanning to make sure no funny business is happening while he's out on patrol. So I think I'll take the question, what is being concealed here? And I'm just looking for any sort of anyone I might sort of recognize.
Okay. During your patrol, you get two impressions. You recognize a small group of people from your past. They can be whoever that they are, but it's part of your crooked past, topside. These people shouldn't be topside. They do not appear to be doing anything nefarious. They are sitting at one of the many lunch cafes outside having a conversation with each other. The second thing that I want that you notice, and Daniel, you can pick up on this too, is that for some reason, the shadows in the city the city of angels that always seems to be lit and glowing appear darker and a little bit heavier than usual, like there is substance in the darkness.
Okay.
And then Daniel, did you have a question for that you'd like to ask?
So that's a thing we actually notice and like process that's a thing.
It's like a weird thing. Like it might not be like an immediate like, oh, this is wrong. It's just like, oh, it's weird. That's definitely weird.
My question would be, like, where is it originating from? Like, is it like an equal coverage? Because we're driving around for a while, and I'm just gonna pay attention to that. Like, are they darker here? Are they darker there?
There does seem to be an equal consistency between all of these spots, and this is usually places between buildings, behind closed doors, and in the shadows of windowsills and empty rooms in the apartments above, or in the storefronts or the offices above you. But they seem to stand out to you today. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Seems like something's brewing.
Yeah, I definitely get a feeling like that. I think James, since he's seen these people from his past, let's call him Joey and the Stooges.
Hey,
I think since he's seen him, he picks up or he pulls out his phone, and he just says, "Joey, you know you're not meant to be topside. Head back down, for I have to come find you."
did you call him or did you text him?
Text him.
You see the one in question, he pulls out his phone and he takes a look, and his entire body language changes, and you can see him kind of glancing around his shoulders to see, like, who does he know from under the city that would know him here, like, and like he kind of leans in and whispers to the other guys, and then he types back, he's like, "We can't go back," is all he says. And they all get up and walk into the building.
It's just cafe?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Always something. I so badly want to mess with him.
It's your call.
So badly want to mess with him. Actually, what I will do is I want to up. Yeah, I guess I don't know where I'd keep the stone, but I guess I'll pull out a stone that I have, and I want to try to summon my my imp.
Cool. All right.
So I got to roll to use magic for it.
Yeah, I think that's your weird roll.
See if it works.
I'll ask, like, what's going on? What are you doing?
Okay.
Definitely works.
Magic
second
still
here.
works.
So I pull out a mini stone with like the a carving of an imp in it that I found somewhere. I don't have a backstory for that. It's just a tool I have. So I open the window and I put my arm out, and the stone alights, and an imp comes flying out from the stone. I need you to keep an eye on Joey and the Stooges.
And the imp gives you a little salute with a straight back and then zips off like a cartoon.
Make sure they don't see you.
All you hear is cackling.
Put the stone away. Sorry, just a little situation I'm going to keep an eye on.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to figure out what's happening.
You ready to keep going?
Absolutely.
Which one of us is driving, do you think?
That's a good question.
I feel like you're probably driving, actually.
I'm driving? Okay.
If I'm pulling out a stone and doing all this.
Yeah. Good. Then I'll just keep on trucking.
Do you guys stay in the city or do you head back to the office?
I think it's about time we head back. So
Cool. So this is when you walk in, this is about the same time that Tabitha is schooling the rookies on finishing their paperwork. Well, not schooling because she's not their teacher, but scolding them.
We're on donuts.
Hero. Awesome.
Nar, 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 nar.
I think James doesn't actually know what everyone's like preferred donut is, or if everyone even likes donuts. But he just gets like a variety pack, sort of deal.
What's everybody's favorite donuts?
plain.
Just
Plain
unknowingly
glazed?
gets everyone's favorites.
I think Kat's a big fan of maple bars.
It's all about the bear claws.
James just lucks into getting everyone's right. There's
Well-
a really weird variety pack that was released like last week.
There's even one with like bacon sprinkles for Tabitha.
I was just to ask, are there any meat donuts?
Nice.
It's a
Really?
high orc population, so they would be there.
I'll
Yeah, but-
immediately head over to my desk and start filling out my paperwork, because
Yeah, donuts
not?
aside, Tabitha is walking to Daniel's desk. Hey, Dan.
what's up?
Is the air in the town same as here? Spooky?
Yeah, should be getting some calls pretty soon.
Okay, I will try to get something out of the chief. And I'm going
I
to
mean, I don't know
commander.
if anything's happened yet, but it will. It
Well,
always does.
if it happened yet, the sooner we are on it, the better.
All right.
I'm taking some paperwork I should bring to the commander because there's always some paperwork to be brought higher ups. And I'm pulling my power move.
Okay.
I will try to read the stuff that's upside down on the commander's desk while I'm talking about the paperwork I just brought.
Okay. So in the paperwork that you're looking through, we're going to say that this is kind of the general DLAPD information. You're seeing what's coming in and out. And something that you know is there seems to be marks on most of the people that have been brought in from the old Los Angeles that are illegally coming topside. That there's a check in medical, and it's got like a little red star marked next to it, and there are, I think, probably like 30% of the people that have been caught that come topside have this same mark on their paperwork.
So they are coming up in rough shape.
Yes. But the medical notes, it's marked under other, and it's marked with a star, but there's no further notes on it.
Okay, so there's something wrong with them. Something odd. Because that's new symbols in the paperwork always mean something new. And I'm bringing the news to the department's room.
So Daniel, you have a where was it? You have a move called Connect the Dots.
I do.
Would you like to use that in this moment?
No, I don't feel like we have enough information yet.
Okay.
Like as soon as the first thing shows up, like the first evidence, then I'll use it.
Okay, cool.
Because then I'll have something to work with.
Sounds good. So you guys are, let's see. You have the strange scent in the air, the heaviness in the aura of the city, the shadows that are dark, people being topside, and this strange mark in the paperwork. So we've got, sorry, I'm like piecing it together in my head.
Solving your own mystery.
I have the end goal. And I have pieces, large pieces, but we haven't gotten to the large pieces yet. So you then receive a call from your immediate supervisor on the line, and this goes to Tabitha. Does Tabitha answer the phone call?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Just gotta let it ring 3 times.
Yeah.
Don't make him think you're not busy at all.
Exactly.
The commander is on the other
First
line.
department.
And he asks, I'm sorry, I haven't memorized everybody's names all the way. Detective Urquhart, we understand that the spook department is a bit on the slow right now. We were hoping that you and your detectives and officers could offer us a quick hand. We seem to be spread a little bit thin with these immigration issues, but we think it might be a domestic abuse concern with a magic mixed family, and we need somebody or your team to immediately go and at least make sure that the family is safe.
Okay. That's not like we have now, like we are not, well, totally not having anything to do, but okay. If it's mixed, if it's magic, okay. Yeah, I will send some of the guys.
Excellent.
And can I get details?
Yes, I have forwarded to your cell phone the location, address, and a transcript of the phone call that we received.
Thank you.
And he doesn't even say goodbye. He just hangs up after there's no other questions. And then you are...
So yeah, what kind of who are we dealing with?
So the transcript that was sent to your phone says that it's an emergency phone call where it is, hi, I have an intruder in my house. Oh, wait, that's not an intruder. That's my husband, but he doesn't look like my husband. I don't think that's him. Oh, no. Oh, God. Where is my little girl? And then end transcript.
Okay, kids on the line, so we'll be going fast about it.
You are given the address, the names of the family. They are the Perditas. So you have Lacey Perdita is the mother. Thomas Perdita is the father, and Alia is the daughter. The mother is fantastical. She is an elf. The father is a human, and the little girl is between the two.
So yeah, we have a missing kid and a magic user. So we get a job for Marco and Kat.
Yes. Like during the phone call, Marco's kind of like scooted his chair a little bit closer to Tabitha. Like, you got something?
What do
Yeah,
my
that's-
wolf ears pick up?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly that took a job for you. A missing kid in magical family, and there's some weird stuff also going in. I'm forwarding the stuff to Marco and Kat.
Understood. Just us two?
Well, it's not like something's. Well, I have a feeling we'll soon have more job to do.
Understood. We will keep you guys in the loop. Kat, you ready to go?
I'll shout from my desk. What's the kid's name?
Alia.
Actually,
Sorry, go on.
yeah, actually, you are good at connecting the dots. I'm looking at Daniel and
I was
Well,
just asking
right,
for the kid's name.
bright dots and dark dots. I'm looking at Daniel and James. I will send the stuff to you. Maybe you know something about them. I'm forwarding that to everybody.
Okay.
The little.
I'll see that it's not my kid, and then I'll be completely disinterested.
Okay. Sounds good.
Back to solitaire.
All right, so you two gear up and get. I assume.
Yeah. Kat's all on board with getting out of the office.
All right. So you guys arrive at the destination, and I want you both to roll read a bad situation for me.
All right, that's sharp, right?
I believe so.
Eight.
And that's just 2d6, correct?
Yeah.
I haven't figured out roll 20, so I'll roll my hard dice right here.
No worries. If you've got your character sheet in Roll20, there's the little kind of like a little dot button next to a film strip underneath all of the different attributes. If you just click it'll roll it for you.
Input value plus
Just
minus
0.
4. 0, okay.
Those are just for like if you've got +1 forward or like hold 1 or things like that, like bonuses.
Okay, I just rolled sharp. You guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Success.
So Raven, you get to ask or hold 1. Your best way in, best way out, any dangers you haven't noticed, biggest threat, most vulnerable, or best way to protect the victims. Nate, you get to hold 2 or ask 2 on that.
I'm gonna do best way to protect the victims.
Okay. You know that in previous domestic abuse situations where magic is involved, you would be able to do a dispel. So if there were any charms or magic cast that you could likely dispel that and then find the victims and put yourself between them.
Okay. I think before we move in, Kat will pull out this vial that looks like some sort of like super viscous dark blood, and then just chug it in front of it's Marco that's with me, right?
Correct.
Yeah, just
Right.
just chug it in front of Marco. It looks awful. She just chugs the whole thing down and just like throws it on the ground and it shatters. Ah, okay. I'm ready.
Whatever takes the edge off, huh?
Oh no, this is so I can dispel all the magic.
Even better. All right. Well, what were my options again? Yes, for anything I wanted to
You've
ask.
got best way in, best way out. Any dangers you haven't noticed, biggest threat, what's most vulnerable to you, best way to protect the victims.
All right, I'll hold 1, and then I'll go for biggest thing we haven't noticed.
So you have shown up at this high-rise apartment building. there doesn't seem to be like anybody monitoring entry or exit, but there's a large foyer, there's an elevator, and there's stairs. You know that you need to get to the third floor to where the address is. What you haven't noticed is the shadows in this area look deeper, like the lights have been dimmed down. The stairwell and the elevator are both very, very well lit, but the stairwell light is flickering. Other than that, you don't notice anything, any other, like any potential danger that could jump out at you right at this moment.
Okay. So I'll look at Kat and be like, stairs or elevator? It says we got to go to the third floor. What do you
I
think?
could use a little exercise.
Fine by me. We'll go to the stairs.
That's why you don't get stuck in the elevator if something goes wrong.
I like
You
it.
are not hindered and do not encounter anything until you get to the front door. The front door has gouge marks in the front of it, like something scraped down the side of it. The door handle is crushed and the door is slightly ajar.
That doesn't give me the warm fuzzies. All right. I'll pull out my phone and I'll text the rest of our group chat and be like, all right, on site, it doesn't feel good so far. We'll check in with more details when we find them.
So during this, so you get, how do you approach the door?
I think Kat just like walks right up to it, and before opening it or looking inside is just cracking her neck and stretching, and sort of bouncing on the balls of her feet a little bit. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
And I think she's just gonna kick the door the rest of the way in and run into the room and try to get between people.
As she
If she
kicks
sees
the
it.
door, Marco will yell LAPD, like,
All right, I always forget to yell that part.
police.
Cat is a liability.
So much of a liability.
I like it.
All right. So I'm going to hold on you guys and we're going to jump back to the office real quick. Tabitha, you get a second call, not but 5-6 minutes later, after Kat and Marco have left the office. And it is Sorry,
Yeah,
go
I'm
on.
taking the call, of course.
it is your commander again, and the commander says, "Oh, good. I'm glad that your squad didn't leave altogether. We have a case upstairs that might interest you and perhaps Mr. Cook. If I could get your team's assistance upstairs in handling a delicate situation with a delicate Fey person." And you can tell, like, they don't really know how to address whatever is going on. There's a large amount of discomfort in the way that he says that.
I sigh audibly. Oh, okay, Chief. Yeah, well, we're coming.
Okay. So you guys, you head upstairs and you're met by the chief's
All of us? Or
whoever goes up with you.
Well, that's. I think that's the shoe dropping. There's something weird we should handle upstairs. Something delicate, so yeah, let's go. That's not for me.
Sure.
Everybody's on board.
yeah, like, do you want me to come? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
So
Fine.
your
I'll bring my paperwork with me and I'll fill it up on the way.
You're playing a Celestine perfectly. The commander's secretary meets you in the entryway and immediately takes you to one of the investigation rooms with the two-way mirror or the one-way mirror, and first brings you into the sound box where you can see who's sitting in there. You recognize this woman that is like, you don't even need to see her face to fully recognize who she is. She is incredibly tall with absurdly long, spindly limbs, and you knew that she should be much more beautiful than she appears to be right now, and that she looks so much older than she should be. This woman is facing you, and you recognize her as one of the leaders of the Holdra. But she doesn't look right. Her eyes are sunken in. She seems to have something which you can't tell what it is, being far at a distance as you are, but there is something speckled all over her face. Her hair is disheveled, and she's sitting smoking a cigarette hunched over the table. And you know that this body language is not Holdra body language. They are the most conceited, self-obsessed, whatever it is, evil, terrible, terrifying personalities, and they know it, and they use that usually. But this woman looks so much small and more fragile than she should be.
Looks like it's the holder's turn to suffer.
That's new.
Everybody gets a turn.
What happened?
Well, the secretary kind of fumbles with her paperwork, and she's like, well, she just walked in. She told us that she just walked in and gave herself up as an unpermitted immigrant, but she's part of the Holdra.
I whisper. I say in stage whisper. That's the show dropping. Definitely.
Has anyone
They pissed off the other holder.
anyone talk to her?
No. Well, the commander briefly spoke with her and gave her a pack of cigarettes. But they thought, with all of your experience, maybe it would be best to start off with you guys, hopefully on the right foot. And she's picking at her fingers, like you could tell that she's just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here right now.
I'll talk to her.
Yeah, don't sell our souls. I tap James in the back.
Yeah, I'll sell yours.
Cool. Do you, James Cook, go in alone while the others stay on the other side of the glass?
Well, the
Yeah.
glass is resistant to any magic tricks.
Yes.
I was gonna say, Daniel looks like he's preoccupied, and I give Tabitha a look. I go in by myself with you. It doesn't matter.
Cool. So the secretary takes you to the door, unlocks the door for you, and shows you. And she says, there will be a guard here if you need anything. But you and your team are much better at these kind of cases than we are. Let us know if you need anything. And then she kind of scampers off after letting you in. We're going to hop back to the apartment buildings. And Raven, do we go on to half hour after? Or or is it the until the hour? I just want to make sure.
Oh, for the end time?
Yes.
We've got about roughly 50 minutes left for how long we usually do, but it's between 2 and 3 hours is what we shoot for. So
Okay, cool. Just want to
whatever
make sure.
you need to end.
Alrighty. So back in the apartment, you guys open up, words shouting, and it's a like a narrow entryway hallway, and you can't hear anything, and the lights are off, and there doesn't appear to be anybody there. Nobody's responding to your loud noises.
Okay. Is it like pitch black dark, or is it light outside and so it's a little bit
It's
lit?
light outside. There's ambient light coming from the windows. But just like the way that the light felt dim when you first walked into the apartment building, the shadows kind of seem to press in on you. Like it's darker than it should be, but it's not dark enough that you need to squint.
Okay. I would like to use magic to try to dispel the darkness, see if that has any effect on it. If it's like if what we're seeing is an illusion, basically, is what I'm trying to guess.
All right, roll weird for that.
Woohoo! 13.
Nice.
You are very successful in casting your magic, and it does lift the darkness, just as you had anticipated. And it kind of like ripples out away from you and vanishes as it comes into contact with the light, and you are left with standing in a dim, ambient lit hallway.
So we went into an apartment building or apartment room, and now it's a hallway.
It's so when you first walked in, it's like an entry hallway. These are fancy apartments.
Okay. I was about to say, like,
so,
this is really cool.
yeah. So you've got like there's like a coat closet on the left, and there's two entry points at the end of the hallway that you assume goes further into the rest of the apartment.
Okay, then yeah, Cat'll move in looking for any people in the apartment, trying to do so relatively quietly.
All right, let me see if refamiliarizing myself with the book.
No worries.
Can I have you roll investigate a mystery?
Sure. Nope. That's a fail.
You don't notice anything. Marco, did you also want to roll to investigate a mystery as you're following her?
Yes, please. Is this sharp?
Yes.
And then the plus minus forward, is that something I could add now from the previous roll I had?
That's you can hold on to that question.
Okay, question. Understood.
Yeah. So you get to ask an additional, so for investigate a mystery, it's what happened here, what sort of creature is it, what can it do, what can hurt it, where did it go, what was it doing, what is being concealed here?
I think I'll go with what is being concealed here.
All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story. So Kat walks in and doesn't really notice anything, but now that the darkness has lifted, you are getting the pungent scent of blood. And as Kat steps into the next room, you hear the telltale squelch of wet carpet.
And I'll make sure she notices this. I'll point it out to her, and we'll move further in, trying to see what's up.
So as you begin to look around, it's almost like you feel like you're waking up, where what you thought as you first walked in and as the magic is continually being dispelled, you begin to see signs of a struggle, blood stains across the carpets. The couch has been torn apart with what it looks like somebody took a knife to it. There's stuffing and coils sticking out of it. The upholstery is ripped to shreds. There is as you continually move through the room, there is an impact mark in a doorway, like against the wall, that when you first walked in, you didn't notice. And you're beginning to see these signs of a struggle, of something that happened that was very violent here, but you don't see any bodies.
Shame about the couch. That's nice upholstery.
I think we've got bigger problems to worry about. There's a lot of blood here.
One last thing for your what is being concealed here. You hear another sound that does not appear to be coming from either of the two of you, that sounds wet and like lips smacking almost.
Lovely. Can I tell where that's coming from? Or at least get
Further
like a
in the
general
apartment.
idea? I'm going to head towards that sound. I'll make sure Kat knows and is there to back me up.
Yeah, Kat's gonna follow right behind.
There is a closed door that you are pretty sure is where the sounds are coming from.
We try and do fast and loud or sneaky and subterfuge?
I think more the latter. I would like to try something with the door.
Go for it.
Could I use magic to make the door basically be able to just walk through the door? Make it what's the word I'm looking for? Goodness.
Ethereal.
There we go.
Transparent?
Not transparent, but just like you don't. There's no physical substance to it. You just walk straight through it.
Yeah, you could do that. Roll weird. I'm adding a picture of the woman in the holding cell, by the way.
Okay.
To our Discord.
14.
Nice.
You are very successful. It is very effective. You don't get stuck in the door halfway through.
Yay! And so, yeah, Kat's just gonna get some of the blood off the bottom of her shoe and just draw this weird symbol on the door, say a few words in Latin, and then look to Marco and go, all right, you can just walk straight through the door now. You don't have to open it. It's just go straight through.
Okay, I go straight through.
Marco's very trusting.
We're gonna hop back to the holding cell. I can't find my picture for the Holdra woman just yet, but I will probably after the game. So James, you walk into the holding cell, and the woman looks up at you, and she seems almost hollow to you. And she just takes a deep drag on her cigarette and stares at you.
James lingers by the door for a moment. Sure that he's met this person before, but not like this. Oh, there's a moment's hesitation before calmly walking over to, I suppose, the seat opposite taking a seat. Hello?
The woman kind of sizes you up. You don't see any kind of recognition in her face. And she says, "What do you want to know?"
Why are you here? What happened to you?
She kind of shifts her weight from one side of the chair to the other, almost like moving hurts. And she looks down at herself, and this is where you realize that those spots that are all over her are mushrooms. Various different types of mushrooms and moss that are that almost appear to be growing out of her skin. And she takes a big deep breath, and she flicks the ash off of the end of her cigarette, and she says, "Because I have nowhere else to go."
Okay. Can you remember what happened to you?
Well, of course, I wish I could forget. But the time for that story is not now. You're not asking the right kind of questions.
Yeah, I was never
Ooh,
one
very-
much for that. I never did ask the right kind of questions. What? Uh, forgot what I was going to ask.
You're good. You can also roll for it if you'd like some help or suggestion.
Sure, why not?
I believe it would be investigate a mystery again.
That's my sharp.
All right. So I can give you information regarding what happened here. You already know what creature she is, what can it do, what can hurt it, what is it going to do, or what is being concealed here. You can also adjust any of those questions and ask something specific, and I can help out.
You can call us in as well to help,
Truth.
like we are looking
Yes,
at you.
that's a good question. What do we see through our glass? Can we also roll to
Yes,
take a good look?
you can also roll to take a good look and check that out. So all you really see at the moment is Officer Cook or Detective Cook sitting in there with his back to you, facing the Huldra woman.
Also, we're looking right at her.
You can see her. It's a large room. She's sitting in the middle of the room facing you.
Okay.
What is... So, since I rolled for it, what... Can I tell anything about what's being concealed with these mushrooms?
Not necessarily what is being concealed with the mushrooms, but that you've seen the mushrooms before. The mushrooms seem to be a reoccurring element that is thought to be associated with maybe a gang or with something. But there's graffiti. This is what is usually accompanied by phrases like "the con protects" or like find some among the moss or stuff like that.
You know, I gotta know. Why mushrooms?
Before I answer that, Tabitha, you got a 9. You can ask any of the investigative mystery questions or your own question if you'd like. You can also hold that if you would like.
Yeah, do we see the mushroom spores or stuff like that?
You can't, like, as you're looking, you notice it at your distance. You're not entirely certain what it is, but you're pretty sure that, like, when you start focusing on it, you can see it.
I'll choose to fail and finish up my paperwork.
Okay. Sorry, go on.
No, okay, so I'll hold this question
Okay.
for now.
So the Holdra woman looks at James and almost like rolls her eyes, like, you topsiders have no idea, do you? And she says, she opens her palms to you, kind of like spread out on the table, and she looks past Mr. Cook at the mirror, and she says, the con protects. And she takes a big deep breath in and almost like exhales it, and it almost like she almost wilts, and the mushrooms seem to grow brighter on her.
Uh-oh.
And then while you're thinking about that, sorry, go on.
No, I'm gonna tell James to get out of there. Like there's a communication thing somewhere. Yeah. James, he's doing something. Get out of there. I feel like she's gonna like blow up or infect you or something. I don't know. She's doing something.
So we're gonna hop back to this not obstacle door that Marco has just run through, and I need you to roll act under pressure for me.
Which stat is that?
Cool. That is cool.
Understood.
You got an 8. So you come into this room and you are hit with the sensation of grief and despair and absolute horror at what you are seeing. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just catching myself up with act under pressure. You come into this room and it is just viscera covering what looks like a little girl's bedroom. And in the middle of the room is something that you can't comprehend, but you know that it's dark and you know that it has teeth and its skin almost looks like it's smoking, and it looks up at you, shrieks, and you feel your entire body go cold. And then all you really realize is the sound of shattering glass, and you are standing in an empty room. And it is gone.
Well, damn.
Can I hear any of that from outside the door?
You do hear the scream, and the scream also chills you. Like, you have never heard anything like this before.
Okay. I think I'm going to run in through the door, screaming back at it. Not so much as I'm going to intimidate you, but I'm just going to scream because it's terrifying, but I'm also running here to go help Marco. So Cat's just barreling through the door going, ah! To check on Marco.
I was going to say fight or flight. Can I chase after it out the window?
It's gone too fast. Like, you could go to the window and take a look, and there is nothing out there, and the glass is still like breaking over your head as you're sticking your head out the window.
Well, that's aggravating. What can I tell about the room? Is there anything left, or it's just viscera covered everything?
You wouldn't even be able to identify a body. It's flesh and torn apart organs, broken bones. You I mean, you could roll to investigate further, but without taping everything off and having forensics come in, you wouldn't really be able to tell much.
All right. Well, I would immediately call it in and just try and describe what I saw, but I'm not familiar with what I saw. Correct?
Correct.
Something.
You can describe it as I described it to you, but you don't even have the words to give it a better description.
Understood. Yeah, I'll do that, and I guess try and investigate the room. Try and see if I can find anything else while still letting the rest of everyone know. And I'll tell Kat what I just saw. I don't know if she saw it behind me or
It was
what have
gone
you.
by the time she came in through the room.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Roll to investigate a mystery to see if there's anything else in the room.
Thanks so much, Paladin Hulk, again for another gifted sub to Stalwart
Yay!
Initiative.
Nice.
Stalwart, that means you can do 2 plot points or give out 2d6s. Plot point description is in the panels down below. And then the d6s either go to the party or to the GM. Just let us know in chat how you want to do that. And thank you for the host.
The GM is super nice, so don't feel bad about giving them to her.
Right.
I haven't done anything yet to piss the players off.
Yet.
Ooh, I found her. Okay, so I've got the woman in the holding cell. I uploaded an image to our Discord.
All right, but you wanted me to roll sharp?
Yep, roll sharp for me, please.
7, mixed success.
You get to ask one of those questions. How did I manage to do that? I closed my document.
Thank you for the follow. There's
I'm gonna-
the link to the chat. See it.
I should have written down what I was doing. Okay. I've almost found it. Okay. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? This can apply to your victims as well. What was
Okay.
it going to do? What is being concealed here? And if those questions don't quite cover it, feel free to ask something else.
All right, I'm gonna go for what happened here.
From what, between your intuition, what you're seeing, and the amount of struggle that you've seen, not just in this room, but in the other rooms that you've walked through, something came in, attacked the family. You're pretty sure that both the mom and the daughter are in the bedroom as part of the viscera, and that whatever, with the transcript that you received, that whatever it was appeared to be the father. You don't know if it was, or if it was a glamour, or what was used. And the amount of magic that Kat dispelled when you first walked in would allude that there is a lot of illusionary stuff going on. And so I feel like that leaves you with more questions than answers.
Okay. Yeah, we just relate this and say that we should take pictures and then get back and try and report and hope to find it before we can't lose it again.
Yeah, this is just. I mean, what do you call overkill on overkill?
Don't have a good response for that.
That's Cat talking to
Yeah.
Marco.
So we'll call the the detectives in, like the regular like beat cops, to try and sanction the area off and start an investigation. But I don't think there's anything for us to do here currently.
Yeah, the forensics is not my thing. Um, I mean, I could really not supposed to do this, but I could try to talk to one of the deceased, potentially see what they know. But that's I don't think I have the right permit for that. So
Well, I'm also gonna ask, can you talk to organs and gore and have it not like blurble back to you? Is that something you can do?
I mean, it's not an exact science.
Fair enough.
It might
Those are
work.
legit questions.
It might. I might accidentally summon a, sort of blood golem abomination. But it's an option I could try.
I won't say anything. Go for it. If it gives us information, I'm all for that.
Fantastic. This is going to be so much fun when I fail this.
I'm gonna go stand outside the room just in case.
All right. Well, you get. I'm gonna have you roll for that, and then while you get that prepared and set up, let's hop back to the holding cell. So, James, do you immediately get up and leave as you are directed to do so? You're on mute. I'm sorry.
I thought I just clicked it off, but I didn't. Okay. I get up from the table and I do back towards the door. Don't do it.
Her eyes follow you like a lazy cat. And you kind of get like this half that doesn't have any kind of mirth in it. And she says, "And what would I be doing that scares you so much?"
You know, there's many ways for a person to die. Mushroom bomb is not my preferred way. Whatever strange magic's been worked on you, the mushrooms, whether they're sapping the life out of you, not ready to go yet.
Yes, Tabitha.
Can I ask the question I was holding?
Yes.
What happened here?
So, the orc culture doesn't have a lot of information on this, but you do remember a story that you were told when you were really young, back when life was careless and you played in the dirt. And somebody, and you don't remember who, you couldn't be able to recall it even if you were hypnotized, but somebody once told you that fungus or mushrooms are all one. They are all connected, and they all keep the secrets, and they keep those safe that give them those secrets.
I haven't moved outside of the room yet, but I am by the door.
Does anybody else add anything in this moment, or are you just all at the edge of your seats waiting?
I'm
Is the
just going to
chief
talk
here-
to her via the intercom, if that's okay.
Yeah,
James is left, right?
not yet.
No.
Actually, for dramatic effect, all I say is, don't I know you from somewhere?
Is the commander in the room?
The commander is not in the room. It's just you guys.
Oh.
I'll tap the intercom button and I'll ask, why are you asking help from us and not the other Huldra?
Because there's something out there more terrifying than my people.
We're small potatoes compared to your people. What can we do that they can't?
She takes another big, deep, quivering breath like it hurts too much to even move. And she says, your people are prone to thinking out of the box. You're able to lie. You're able to come to conclusions perhaps some of us might not be able to. And you, and she says you in a way that almost makes your skin crawl. She says, and you can walk through worlds.
Okay, never done
And
that before, but okay.
maybe you're our only hope. And if you can't do it, we're all damned.
Okay. She can't lie to me because that's my thing. So I'm assuming this is all true.
Correct?
And I'll ask, so what exactly are you looking for?
Safe haven, to plant my feet, to be protected, to not let those things come and get me.
Because you look like you need a doctor, not a cop.
It looks like they already got her.
Sorry, go on.
How long have you got left?
I couldn't tell you. My situation appears to be precarious, and maybe I'll die in the next moment, and maybe I'll be healed and live and walk out of here one day.
What have you tried to get healed?
Before, when I was beautiful and I had not given my promises away, I encountered something wicked, something terrifying. And it left me broken and bitter and terrified. And then I sought out a friend who has slowly been putting me back together, and she opens her arms again as if insinuating that the mushrooms are not what the problem not what the problem is. And she kind of like tilts her head to the side and looks at James Cook and says, you of all people should know what good protection costs.
Before I get to that, when she made the motion that the mushrooms were the problem, James turned to face the face where Tabitha and Daniel are and made a face that says he completely does not believe that.
Right, but she does, right?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah, James just letting you know that he doesn't believe that. Turns back when the woman says that. Oh. Did you jog your memory?
She just shakes her head and she puts her cigarette out, pulls out another one and starts smoking that one again, or a new cigarette. And she says, she kind of looks at you, and then she looks at the mirror almost like she can see through it. And you get the impression that she's not here because she has to be. She's here because she wants to be. And this cell wouldn't be able to hold her, even if they tried. And she says, I'm tired and I would like to rest. And if I could rest here, I would be very grateful.
Well, of course, we've got some nice warm cells around here.
If your cells can keep the darkness of the world out, then I will reside in them peaceably.
I'll get you a
hit the
nightlight.
button again, and I'll ask, are we going to catch any trouble from your people for keeping you here? Any
No.
misguided idiots coming to rescue you?
My people have seen how broken I am and have let me go. You will not receive any guff for having me here.
They've discarded you.
Yes. And you can see like that there's like an air of bitterness in her feelings about that.
Okay.
James moves back to the seat and sits down. Leans a little across the table. What is going on down there? You're not the first one in recent times to come up, and just today saw a few more people show up from down there. What's driving you up?
She leans across the table. Do you have your arms on the table, or are they like folded across you, or?
Yeah, like the full like.
So she leans across the table and she lightly puts her hands on your forearms as you're posted up there, and she says, I couldn't tell you even if I knew. And she sits back again and kind of like dusts the table off. And for a moment, you could see that Huldra regal nobility, but she sinks in on herself again and she says, I am too tired to keep talking.
That's fine. I mean, you chose to come here, so plenty more time to talk.
Without my finger on the button, I'll be like, let's just leave her in there. She might be contagious with that mushroom shit.
Why I feel like it's beyond our pay grade.
That too, but I'm saying we don't take her out of there and put her in a cell. Let's just keep her in there.
Yeah, completely agreed. Besides, I'm not talking about spores here. I don't even want the rumors spread.
Mm-hmm.
And James is just sitting in this room having to stare down with this moment.
She's just like lazy cat staring at you from between her eyelids. Like, she doesn't have anything left. She's tired, but she's awake.
Okay.
Go on.
I think we need to report this. I think we need to talk about this case with higher ups. I'm pressing the intercom. Come on.
Absolutely.
So we're going to hop back. Your forensics team and the other detectives from the department have heard your call and have shown up to relinquish you from the crime scene, and you are able to return back to your office. Marco, you are still shaken. Like what you saw left a mark on you, shaken. But yeah, so you guys head back. You do that with that however you want.
Do you still want to do the trying to talk to
Oh
the dead
yes,
thing?
sorry. Yes, please. I'm so sorry. Right, dead.
No worries.
Did you roll for your magic?
I have not yet. I was going to make sure that that's what I needed to do.
Yes.
Flavor-wise, like Kat has made like a circle in the room as best she can. And is Marco watching any of this or just completely out of the room?
I mean, he'd be watching from outside of the room just to hopefully help if something goes sideways. He doesn't.
Okay, because this is totally gonna help Marco's being shooken up about the situation.
Great.
So there's like a circle made of blood and stuff, and like, all right, this might be a little gross, so Turn your head if you've got a weak stomach.
I think he's probably more pissed, more shook that he couldn't do anything. Like that it was over and gone so fast that he just kind of felt helpless. He's trying to do like the whole protector bit, so that's what's shooketh him.
Okay.
But continue.
So, yeah, Cat finds like the cleanest spot on the floor in the circle, or maybe like pulls out a plastic bag or something like that to sit on. Just sits cross-legged in the circle, gets some of the blood on two of her fingers, and seems to do like this whole like psyching herself up kind of thing, getting ready to do something unpleasant. And then basically looks like swipes the two fingers over her tongue and then starts chanting.
Okay.
And then I'll do the roll, yeah.
Let the dice decide, because this could go a lot of different ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like, this is a horrible idea, but this is something she would totally try to do. So we're gonna roll with it.
Okay.
Mixed success? At least it
All
wasn't a
right.
failure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, let me just double check something real quick. Oh. Ba-ba-da. Okay. You may choose your glitch with this effect.
Okay.
I will expound upon that, it says.
I'm trying to remember what all the glitches were. I know it was like shorter duration,
Yeah.
unexpected side effects.
You
Yeah.
have those in the Hunter Moves reference over the stats. Just unroll.
Yeah. I've got it right here also.
Oh, hey.
Use magic and glitches.
Oh, that is so helpful. Okay, the effect is weakened. It's of short duration. You take 1 harm, ignore armor. Magic draws immediate unwelcome attention, or it has a problematic side effect. Oof. So many fun options here. Oh, should I do the harm or the problematic side effect? What do y'all think?
I don't know.
I'll go with the side effect,
Okay.
because that sounds like more fun.
I have an idea for that one. So you start casting, and you almost all like you. This was a hard spell, and so you don't necessarily notice it at first, but it starts wrong from the beginning, and we'll tell this from Marco's point of view. So, Marco, what you're seeing as she begins casting this spell is her circle of blood that she's made begins to well up into droplets and move across the carpet towards her, almost carving these wild-looking magic runes. And the bodies, the eviscerated bodies, begin to twist and snap and roll across the floor, almost like they're trying to put themselves back together, but there's not enough tissue for them to even be a semblance of what they were. And from one of these bleeding, gross looking areas, you hear this deep keening sound of despair, and from that you can begin to pick apart the sound of voices that are saying, "My sweet baby, my darling daughter, what have they done to you?" on repeat over and over and over again.
Okay.
And you get
Lovely.
the impression, Kat, that maybe the spirit has already descended into madness.
Lovely. I think Kat's just gonna yell out like, Hey, not sure how useful this information is going to be, but if you want to ask questions, now's the time because I'm not sure how long I can hold this.
To me, it sounded like you said they're repeating. Yes,
Yeah,
that's like a
incessant
short
repetition.
loop.
Yeah.
Can we even get a word in? Is there any kind of response from the voices, or they're just straight up repeating?
What have you tried to say?
Try to ask, what did this to you? What happened? Why?
The voice does stop, but all that is replaced is like a shrieking sound of just like absolute grief.
Well then, I don't think we're going to get much more out of that. I'm not too happy about it.
Spooky.
Yeah, no.
That's very creepy. I think Kat, once it's done, we'll drop the spell, hop up and run to like the closest sink, and just has like a flask and basically does like a mouthwash thing with it, and just like, oh, I hate doing that. Ugh.
So
Fresh blood is the worst.
Because that didn't get us anything, and apparently could get you in trouble. That didn't happen, right?
What didn't happen?
Fair enough. All right,
Exactly.
I don't think we can do much more here.
So this is about the time that you hear LAPD detectives and forensics on site.
I'll call out to them, tell them in here, tell them to watch their shoes.
They meet you about halfway and essentially dismiss you from the scene to go and do your paperwork and your reporting for this.
Did any of our messages get out to our other spook team members?
Yes, all of the information that you've sent out has been received by them. They've just been a little busy until about now-ish, or they're still busy. So nobody has responded to anything that you've sent out, but they do have it.
Okay, I'll just send out that we're heading back to the office.
Perfect.
I think James sees everything you've sent and just sends back, "Yikes."
Thanks.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And Tabitha contacts Kat. Well, if you're done there's more work here for you.
You get a text back.
Don't tarry on the way.
Work, or paperwork?
Work.
Okay, we're on our way back.
Remember to clean your shoes before you enter the station.
It's
Yeah.
decontamination.
Okay, so I turn to my coworkers. So does it fit a bill to call it a gang war?
No. Sounds like it's just some guy or a powerful thing.
No, but we have the mushroom is like a call of this.
That's something her friend did to her. You heard her.
But the thing she told about Khan and stuff, that's like, well, we don't have much on these new players in town, but this sounds like their job. She is Haldra, and from up top, they are whatever they are. If
I
the
don't
two
think this is related to any of the gangs. I think this is something else.
really.
Yep. We'll get more out of her when she wakes back up.
I hope Kat can help her a bit. Because if we... Well, whatever she wants from us is out of the box, and that sounds like I roll my eyes, cat.
I love that. So you guys show up back at the office and exchange details so that everybody's on the same page. This seems like a pretty good time to end this session. We got a lot further than I thought we were going to, so that was cool.
We're efficient. We know what we're about. Competence all the way through.
I'm gonna have to like add some more details to my timeline because like you might just like blow through it all, which I don't have a problem with.
Because we don't stop for paperwork.
So I've got a nice little teaser for you all to think about for next week's session. When you are heading home, wherever home may be for the end of the day, you get the distinct impression that something might be watching you from the shadows. And when you go to look at it, you could swear that you saw movement out of the corner of your eye. But when you finally turn your face to it, there's nothing there. And that's it. We'll close out. So is it that we do everybody's favorite moment and where we can find you next?
Yeah, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you want to share? And we'll start with you, Yaz.
Cool. You can find me next on Wednesday for Exodus, where I am playing Bambi Darling. And as well as on my website and Twitter, which I will post in the description. My favorite part is really just getting to open this world up with you guys right now. Tabitha and Kat are freaking hilarious. I have nicknames for all of your characters in my notes too. I'll share that with you later. But yeah.
Awesome.
Who's next, Raymond?
Econorlax. We'll do opposite order of how we did intros.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Econorlax. You can find me next in like 2 hour and a half on Polish scripted channels, when I'll be playing Savage World Adventure with some wonderful people. And that's actually quite a rare thing that I look at the cast and there's nobody here playing that game. We've been recently just jumping games so in pairs or trios even recently. And Polish channel in Polish scripted channels in an hour and a half. And my favorite moment was the door trick. Yep, that's setting the dynamics here. There,
Shenanigans.
that's Cat.
Did you fill out the right paperwork for those shenanigans?
No. Tabitha will quietly, of course, not voicing this, will support any payback on Rookie's side. You don't need a written permission for getting your back on Cat. Cool. Actually, I would prefer it strongly if there was no written track of this.
Reasonable. I like it.
Yeah.
That weird symbol was on the door when we got here. I don't know what to tell you.
What's to say?
Next is
Continue, please.
Nate. Favorite part? Where can we find you next?
My favorite part was the reveal of the monster. Like, I've been playing with Yaz a long time, and so I know to expect some real cool stuff happening, and this just kind of fell right into that. So yeah, I love it. And I'll be here same time next week. Not much else than that.
All right. And then next we've got Parlin. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you want to share?
I think my favorite part was actually right back to the beginning, with Tabitha and and Kat and Marco. Just their opening scene together was a joy, a bit of a joy. Uh, Aside from that, you can find me on my Twitter at LTALIG. You can find me on my Twitch, which is in the chat. See me, my channel, in the chat right now. And you can find me later today in about 3 hours, maybe a little less than that, about 3 hours ish, where I'll be part of the Masks game that's going on this season on the Guild. That's all for me.
Awesome. I'm excited for that. And then next we've got Paladin Hulk. Favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to share?
Had a few favorite parts. I really liked the chair hop that Marco did. That was good. That was good stuff. I liked saying the suffering line. That was nice for me. And I really liked the descriptions of everything. You're a really good GM.
Thank you.
Saying that now. Like that was all very atmospheric and stuff.
Thanks so much.
Excited to see what's next.
Oh man, I'm so excited for this story.
That's good. And where you can find me next is on Uncanny Adventures on Sunday, where I play Holt, the pirate paladin who tries to make friends with all the evil pirates. It's going reasonably well. You know, the one person who didn't want to be my friend got tossed off the ship. So now it's one big boat full of friends. Yeah. And hopefully that show will actually happen this week because the GM's been having some tech issues. So fingers crossed.
Awesome. And then, my favorite part, being able to do all of Kat's shenanigans is fun. I'm really looking forward to when that blows up in her face. It's going to be a blast. And then, I'd have to second the consensus of all the descriptions. Is very easy to visualize everything that was happening because, your descriptions are amazing, guys. It was great.
Yeah, that's a real skill.
Thank you.
Yeah. You painted us a word picture. It was fantastic. And I can't wait for next week. It's going to be fun. Where you can find me next, I'll be producing School Days in about 3 hours. So I won't actually be playing in that game, but I will be in the chat and running the stream. It's going to be a really cool show. And then I'll be GMing Animus Absentus tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, right back here. And that's it for me for the rest of the week. Other things to share are there's some cool stuff happening on Patreon, which I'm going to toss into chat there. So there's a new art piece up and a couple of soundtracks that you can download. The Animus soundtrack will be available for download before the end of the week, which is going to be really cool. And I've got some other cool artwork in the pipeline that I'm going to be putting on Patreon as soon as it's finished. So definitely some cool stuff there. Sign up if you'd like. All the artwork and everything is available at the coffee support tier, which is $2 a month. And then the soundtracks, things like that, are available at the content supporter, which is $7.50. And then if you go up to the Bard tier, which is $15 a month, that actually counts towards viewer actions here on the channel. You can actually use all $15 of that to buy plot points and D6s for people and things like that. So it's pretty cool. And then I think that's about it before we go on the raid, except for mentioning that it is September with Twitch. So this applies to this channel and any other channel that you're a fan of. You can actually subscribe for multiple months at a time, and when you do, they give you a discount on the sub fee, but the streamer gets the full amount still. It's really cool. So it just comes out of Twitch's half of the subscription fee. which is pretty neat. So if you have channels that you regularly support every month, it's a great way to save some money and at Twitch's expense rather than ours. So cool stuff there. We're going to go on a raid. As I mentioned, we've got our raid cry, which is the mom's fine, it's just stress. And then we're going to go raid Tabletop Horde. So that's Virginia's channel. She's currently playing Rainbow Six Siege, but she does a lot of tabletop stuff as well. And just an all-around great person, so definitely give her a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will see you all in about 3 hours. So thanks again, everybody. Bye.